Well, would you look who's back? It's me. I'm back. Hold on. Absolutely refreshing. What's up, guys? It's me, Astro, coming at you guys again with another video. This one is going to be another Tekken Academy video, and it's going to be a little bit different than the other ones because this time we're not going to be talking about a hard skill in the game like defense or offense. There's going to be talking about something a little bit different that I have found that a lot of people are struggling with, and that's the mental side of the game. And basically the mentality of Tekken 8 and kind of the thought process and mindset you should have going into the game if you're looking to improve and get better. Basically, the most I've seen this afflicting is the kind of upper intermediate as well as high level players. But this can even go for beginner level to lower intermediate as well if you feel like you're struggling or you feel like there's something that you're not getting. This video is going to be a little bit different. It's not going to be necessarily as tip oriented as much as it's going to be kind of just a talk while I play some games in the background. So if you guys enjoy the content, like always, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. Okay. Like I said over there, look at that. I don't know who put that there, but I heard they're a pretty smart guy. Maybe you should like and subscribe. Anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the video, shall we? Alright. So this video, like I said, we're just going to be running games in the background while I'm talking. It's not going to be as in-depth educational as much as it is me talking to you guys, the viewers, the people, directly about this whole thing about mentality, right? And the first thing that I think is super important is you have to ask yourself a very serious question. What does progress look like to you, right? Like, are you just a guy that has big lofty goals and you just want to hit a certain rank? Is that what it is? Or are you looking to actually improve in certain areas, right? So like, I have a friend who he was talking to me about not improving, and he's stuck at purple ranks, or he's still at purple ranks, right? And he sees everybody else on his friends list climbing and everything, and he's like, well, I'm just not getting better. And I think that that's not the mindset you want to have, because your rank is not necessarily indicative of how good you are, right? There's a lot of really high ranked people that probably should improve. There's a lot of really low ranked people that are super good because they focus on the right things, right? I think that learning how to measure your progress comes with, first off, like we always talked about in grade school and stuff like that, setting SMART goals that are measurable, right? It's not enough to say, okay, I just want to be better at defense. That's not good. You have to understand what it is on defense you're doing wrong. Do you duck too much? Are you bad at breaking throws? Do you not low parry, right? Are you not punishing properly when you block things, right? All these things in a microcosm you can look at and say, okay, you can pick things out, right? And that's one thing that led to my huge progression in the game. If you guys didn't know, which most of you guys don't, when I used to stream Tekken 7, I was like a green rank, yellow rank, I think. I think my highest ranked character, it was Hwarang, but I think he was only like maybe the first rank of orange. If that, I was like a rank or two away, right? And now I'm sitting at Tekken Emperor. And a part of that might be the game. That's very true. And I know a lot of people might think that. But a lot of it, too, is me taking my practice very seriously. It wasn't like, I was really trying to make sure I was seeing what was killing me, and I would hone in on it. Like, I used to duck a lot, right? If you watch my games from when I first started, I used to duck all the time. Now, not so much, right? And that's been helping me not get launched, right? Which allows me to block more mids and allows me to, get better punishes because I'm blocking more stuff, right? The understanding of breaking throws. I used to be horrible at breaking throws, and now I am a lot better because it's something that I honed in on and practiced. I just talked about not ducking, and I ducked right there. I can see it out the corner of my eye. Don't talk about it, okay? But I think that your progression needs to come from a place where you understand that you need to have something in mind, right? You have to have something that's measurable so you can actually see, right? Maybe you can keep track. Oh, I'm breaking, like, oh, I'm more consistently breaking throws, right? That's something you can tell. If you're getting thrown a bunch, you're not breaking. You can see that. If you're getting hit low a bunch, you're not being able to practically tell when your opponent's going to use a low. That's something you can tell, right? And I think that it's important to really lock in on those certain things, like, you know, making sure maybe you want to use throws more in your offense, right? Being sure to look into it, and instead of being just this big wide window of I need to have better defense, look at your defense and say, this is what I need to do. Trying to get yourself out of situations and things of that nature. I feel like that's usually the best way to go about it, because it allows you to look at it and you can see, oh, I am teching these throws, I'm getting better. Oh, I am blocking those a lot more. This is starting to help, right? And I'm starting to see things, right? I think that that is the best place to start at, first and foremost, okay? The next thing that I wanted to really talk about, and I think this is super important, is you got to stop comparing yourself to other people and focus on it, right? This is something that kind of ties into the first thing that we talked about, right? Just measuring your progression. It's your progression, right? It's your journey in the game of Tekken, and it's your journey as whether you're a newcomer, intermediate, high intermediate, high level, pro player, regardless of where you're at, right? Understand that you can't look at the next guy and be like, damn, I'm not as good as this dude is. You know, I'm only Garyu and he's Fujin, right? That's not fair to you, right? Your guys' circumstances are not the same. Maybe you don't play as much as they do. Maybe you don't get the time to practice. Maybe you haven't had anybody, you know, there to teach you the things that they're being taught. Also, if you're watching this video, self-plug, you do have somebody. It's me. I have a playlist card. You can watch it right here. It'll help, I promise. But other than that, you have to really look at just you. And I don't mean that like you have to figure out everything yourself. Of course, you can pick up inspiration from other players. You can kind of see what they like to do and move along with that. But when it comes to you getting better at the game, the level that you're at and the level that you're going to be, it has to be just you. Because if you start looking at how much better Arsenal and Ash is getting, or how much better Speed Kicks is getting, or how much better your friend is getting, right, you start to lose what the whole point of thinking about that stuff is, and that's you, right? You are the main thing that you want to improve on. And however good all those people are, or however good those people are doing, has nothing to do with your progression. It's not going to do it. And that's something that you really have to remember and think about. That's something that I had to remind myself of all the time. One of my best friends, he's a bear player, and he hit God of Destruction like 2-3 weeks ago, and I'm just now getting to Tekken Emperor. Now, there's a lot of people who look at that and get super discouraged, like, oh, that combo was horrible, don't talk about it. But you have people who would get at that and be like, oh man, I'm really not getting good. And you know, and I look at it as, okay, let me use him as a barometer to figure out what I need to do better, right? He's the one who basically showed me I duck too much. He's the one who showed me that I can't break throws, right? And because of him, I've improved my defense massive amounts, because I was able to look at myself, right, and understand what was going wrong with these games, right? Why was he beating? He was sidestepping. He's a bear, right? Really bad sidesteps. He was sidestepping the hell out of me because I was being too predictable with linear moves, right? My throw game, I wasn't varying enough. He would break them all the time, basically on autopilot, right? I wasn't utilizing skyrockets. All these things that you can look at, you can kind of just pick them out, like I said before in the first section. Pick them out in your head. What am I doing wrong? What's getting me killed, and what's happening, right? What can I do better? And you can move along with that from there without discouraging yourself, right? And that leads me to my next point about discouraging yourself. Be kind to you, okay? This game is really hard, okay? It's a hard game. And I think that there's a lot of people who are not kind enough to themselves to give them an opportunity to learn a completely new system, offensively and defensively, how to utilize that system and how to utilize it to high efficiency, right? That's something you got to do. You got to give yourself time. And like I said before, this leads back to everything's going to connect. Like just the same way as all the other Tekken Academy videos, everything's going to connect. You're going to realize your progression is not the same. You're not going to understand how to use heat with your character the same way in the same time period that I am, right? You're going to discover things that you're going to have to do. You're going to discover things that maybe you can and can't do. Same thing here, you know what I mean? Everybody's gone through it. We're all learning. And remember, guys, this is super important. The game is only 3 months old. Your career is not over because you're stuck at a rank 3 months into the game. Your career is not over if you're stuck at a rank 3 years into the game. Right? If you come back and it's 2027 and you're Fujin, that's okay. Your journey is not the same as anyone else's. Give yourself time. Give yourself a chance and be kind to yourself. Allow yourself to make mistakes and understand that you're human, right? You're not me. You're not Joka. You're not Chanel. You're not Speed Kicks. I mean, of course, unless you are actually these people, but like, understand, like, these things that happen, these players that are making these progressions, they're coming from different circumstances. A lot of them, it's their job. So when they beat you because they can play the game a lot and they have more knowledge than you do, that's just what it is. And you can either A, be sad about it and get super upset about it, or you can look at the problem in a vacuum and figure it out. And that's what a lot of players that I'm noticing are having a hard time about, is figuring it out, right? And that's gonna lead me to the next point, right? Is learning how to defeat the situations that are giving you a super hard time, right? And the side note that I had for this is, if it looks a little bit too fucked up, that's because it probably is, right? It's a little bit too, if it seems, just like they always say, if it's too good to be true, it probably is, right? So the best example that I have of this is actually a discovery that I made literally on stream 2 days ago. And it's Paul's situation where he charges the unblockable after heat, right? And a lot of people just lay on the ground and take the shot. And I was trying to figure out if I could sidestep. Found out that you can't. The only reason I sidestepped it one time was because I was at the wall and I was already off axis when I woke up. So that's a whole other thing. But, you know, I used to get cooked by it. And at first I never labbed it because why would you do that? But I was just complaining about it. I was like, dude, I always get cooked by Paul players because they always do this, and I'm always getting hit by it. I'm trying to figure out what to do, but I never laughed. Right? I found out literally the other day that I can just punch him. You can just hit him, right? And with that understanding, when I calmed down and I really looked at the situation and I looked at what I could do, I learned. And when I learned, I started counter hitting. And actually, there was a Paul player that tried to do it to me, and I hit him with the 10-frame counter hit launch with Hwarang in heat, right? But that's because I labbed the situation and I didn't allow it to get to me, right? Because I was losing to it and I wanted to learn how to beat it, so I took it into the lab, right? Labbing is your best friend. The training mode is your best friend. There's so many good things you can do. The replay system is amazing. There's so many different ways you can go about training and learning how to do things and how to handle situations. If you guys would like a video on how to use the training mode properly and what ways I do to go about using it to improve and get better, I can make a video on that as well. Go ahead and drop it in the comment section below. But essentially, this is going to be a way that you go about how you actually improve. This is where the work takes place, right? You're not just going to get better by kind of wishing on it or praying that everybody else just eventually moves out of your rank that's worse than you, right? Or that's better than you, so that you can only play people that are worse than you. That's not the way to actually improve. It's not going to do you any good, right? I hate hypnotist stands, by the way. Nerf shall you do the I don't even care. I don't care. But I think that the thing that needs to be done is people need to learn how to lab. And you can do that by watching videos by me. You can do that by watching. There's tons of videos from top players about learning how or what they do in training mode to actually improve themselves and figure out how to stop themselves from getting killed and stuff. That back three was so getting off topic because I've been watching the game out of the point. But you can go on YouTube and you can look it up and figure all that stuff out, right? And understanding what it is you can do to improve, right? And I think that's super important. The internet is your friend. YouTube is your friend. Twitch is your friend, right? Don't be afraid to ask questions. There's a lot of streamers who are just like me, streamers, content creators, all that stuff, who are just like me, who would love to answer your questions, right? Who would love to give you tips and help you get better. Because really, above all else, the thing that is common amongst us all, for the most part, is we all love Tekken. And the one thing that I want is I want for everyone to play it. I love when people play Tekken. I think that's super cool, and I would like to expand the game as far as I can, and however I can help. And I would like to go about that by helping out new players. So if you guys ever have questions, please don't ever feel afraid to ask. And if the streamer that you are talking about or talking to doesn't even have to be me, but if whoever you're asking the question to kind of makes you feel like an idiot about it, I did break that. But if they make you feel like an idiot about it, you just gotta find somebody else. That's not really someone who's cool. That's not really just a cool thing to do, right? So take that as you will. You know, watch who you want to watch, all that other stuff. But just, you know, ask questions. Really, like, inquire about the game and what you can do to improve, right? That's what's important. And then this one is the last one. Super, I think this is the most important one. That's why I saved it for last, right? And that is the fact that you, just because you're losing does not mean you're bad. You're losing games, you're losing points. The rank system we all know is honestly poop. It's doo-doo. So, you know, we know it's bad. So the understanding that just because you're losing points or you're losing games does not mean you suck. It does not mean you're bad. It just means you're having a bad day. Very, very easy to happen in this game because, like I said, this game is mad hard, okay? And there's a whole lot of things that you got to think about. So regardless of what level of play you're at, please do not be discouraged because you demote a couple of ranks, right? If it helps you guys understanding, before I hit Tekken Emperor, I was at Tekken King. I demoted all the way back to the beginning of Raijin. I was about to demote to Fujin on Hwoarang, okay? I was about to demote to Fujin on Hwoarang before I finally, it didn't happen overnight. It took me like literally a week, and I ended up grinding myself back up, and I got myself back to Tekken King. And after I got myself back to Tekken King, I took a break for like 3 days, and I came back and went on a crazy win streak and went to Emperor, right? It's possible. It can happen, and if you give yourself the chance to calm down, improve, and don't throw yourself into the salt pit that is just the rank factory with all the online gremlins that are just like, tee tee tee, I'm so good at Tekken because I am blue rank, blah, 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 blah. Ignore those people, play your game, understand what you got to do, and remember the most important thing that I think is a lot of people don't understand, and this is more so for if you're planning on playing at events or locals or tournaments of any kind, of any caliber, right? Ranked and online is basically live training mode. That's all it is, right? And you should treat it as such. Don't be so hung up on your points and your win-loss ratio with whatever character that you forget that the whole point of you playing online is just to get better, right? You want to get better, and you want to learn how to beat better people so that you can rank up, right? And you want to learn how to beat better people so you get deeper in bracket, whatever your goal might be. Remember the goal. And that's can be something that easily helped me stop myself from getting super salty. As cool as it would be to reach God of Destruction, I tried to do the cross up right there, but I messed up. As cool as it would be to reach God of Destruction, it doesn't mean anything if I'm God of Destruction and I go to Evo and I get knocked out. You know, I don't make it out of pool, right? So my goal is to improve at the game, not just, you know, make my PNG go up, right? And I think that's something that a lot of other players should adopt mentally as well. Hopefully this helps you guys out with the understanding of the mentality of the game and what I went through going through just the ranking up process and kind of my thought process going through it. That's going to be it from me. I'm done yapping. I promise. Old man is out. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, think I missed anything, please drop it below in the comments. Everybody could use the, you know, the words of advice necessary. Other than that, I hope y'all have a great rest of your day. This is Astro signing out. Peace.